tag us in this video, mate. It'd be good for the old cams lot actually as well. I don't know about that. You know, I guess I've been around for a long time now. I'm 39 years old and done 4 Olympic Games, and I guess, you know, you become... It's not like I'm a cycling superstar. I was always a bit of a nearly sort of man, really, in terms of the big scene, but tried my best for a long time, and then, you know, called it a day, really, in terms of professional cycling after Tokyo. You know, finally sort of like succumbed to like injuries, old age, lack of talent, and yeah, and here I am, and I still love riding my bike, you know, more than ever. It's different now. It's not... I couldn't care less about my average power and my heart rate and what my training stress score is this week and things, but I just love riding bikes, and you saw me playing on that e-mountain bike earlier, and I like my leisure cycling, I like my commuting, I like doing sportive and stuff like this now and again, and even the odd amateur club race, and yeah, you know, British cycling, bike racing will always be like a part of my soul, really, and I never want to go too far. More and more. So let's go full circle. You know, when I started riding bikes, it was just, you know, back to my childhood. It was always like the best thing in my life. I never really enjoyed school, never was particularly academic. I never really had any sort of ambition, really. And then, you know, I went on this magical sort of mystery tour with the Great Britain cycling team, and you know, all of us really achieved so much, you know, from the performance directors, the coaches, so many of the athletes, you know, more so than me, Vicky Pendleton, Chris Hoy, Bradley Wiggins, you know, there's Laura Kenny, there's just retired Jason Kenny. It was just such a successful team, and, you know, such a privilege to be part of it, and we had these, like, massive events that you could only dream of as a child, like, you know, the 2012 Olympics and things. And yeah, and inevitably, like, you know, all sports people, like, you come out the other side at some point. It feels like you sort of dropped into the Wild West, where you kind of feel a bit like a child again. It's like you don't really like any academic stuff, you still love riding your bike, but all of a sudden you've kind of lost that. You've lost your brothers, you've lost your teammates, you've lost your family, and this is well documented with ex-footballers, ex-Olympians. But to answer your question, not just big leisure events like this, sportifs, but racing on an amateur level, still keeping in there with British cycling means the world to me. And like I said, it's different now, but there's nothing more I love than getting out on a bike and you know, riding along with my pal Jesse Yates, and you know, if we can put one of our sponsors on the map at the same time, everyone's winning. There's a few people trying to chat to me, and I was just like so dehydrated, and I just have to sit down for a minute. But, yeah, it's tough out there, and yeah, people think I'm joking, but like, getting old, and young lad like Jesse is sort of mid-20s now, and he's training and sort of racing a lot more than I am, and quite like taking a kicking now and again, to be honest, but keeps you humble. But yeah, there's a long way around there. As long as I'm not completely incapacitated, I'll ride bikes. As long as my heart beats, I'll always champion. Whether it's racing, commuting, leisure events. No. So I've got a podcast actually with Ryan Mullen and Georgina Mullen. He's a pro cyclist, and that's his wife, up in Home Firth tomorrow, where I live. And then I'm back down to Goodwood actually on Tuesday via the bike shop in London for a bit of promotional work with camps as well ahead of the Olympics. Wednesday, Thursday I'm in Sheffield in the transport office because I'm the active travel commissioner up in South Yorkshire. Friday I'm in Henley-on-Thames with British Cycling at Lloyd's Bank. So I keep busy, but it's all about bikes. It's difficult, and I think there's this as a child you grow up with this sort of preconceived belief almost. It's this idea that, you know, if you make a certain amount of money and you win medals that you kind of aspire to, and you're part of a winning team, like, you know, you were as well, and you know, you travel the world and do excellent stuff, and you have this false idea. It's false that you've made it, you're happy, and you've ticked all the boxes, and then life will be complete. But it's well documented with lottery winners. In fact, you know, people win the lottery and high as a kite for a week, month, And after a period of 6 to 18 months, everyone comes down to the same happiness sort of level that you started at, and achievements like possessions, their appeal doesn't last. It's the same for Olympic gold medals. It's the same for a new pair of trainers that you aspire to own. Yeah. I mean, for me, I didn't struggle putting the bins out the next day, but it kind of came like a month or two later for me. And there was a couple of cyclists, really high-profile ones that were like yourself, that kind of just struggled 24 hours later. And, yeah, everyone struggles to come down off that high, but at the same time, I won't want it any other way. And I hope you feel like me as well when you kind of look back on that and you think, well, it was a great way to spend your youth. And no matter where life takes me from here on, I think I've learned things through. I'm trying to perform. Not always perform, but trying to perform with a good group of friends, travelling the world, experiencing like just epic highs and crushing lows. It was never boring, and I'm grateful for that. Cams, yeah, so, I mean, I hate to say it, but almost every cyclist, including myself, will have cycling friends that, don't move the same way they once did, and perhaps some of them aren't even here. CAMS is Cycle Accident Management Services, so if anyone's unfortunate enough to be hit by a vehicle out on the road, CAMS is there to look after you, and they'll provide you with new kit, new bikes, but really they're there to give you financial compensation when you can't feed your kids and provide a roof over your head. And obviously you're never going to slag off the people that have got your back, but for what it's worth, I could have gone many different ways in terms of being a brand ambassador at the time, and for me it was something that was particularly close to my heart, and I'll always champion people that protect the vulnerable road user, whether it's cyclists, pedestrians and so on, and a big active travel campaigner. I love seeing a bit of active travel in cities and town centres particularly, and I think it's just important to know that in certain circumstances, we don't have protective infrastructure and there are incidents out on the road. At least there's someone that can try and do the next best thing. Bike. Yeah. So, you know what? The problem is I've been spoiled throughout my whole life, and I worked for a long time in the research and innovation team at British Cycling, and I've just finished that contract actually, for all the kit that's been developed for the Olympics. But I'm a massive tech nerd. Yeah, this is an Oro, and I was down at a trade stand actually, probably about this time last year, and I saw the tent next to us, an Oro stand. What I really liked about them is they were just kind of like really, really well kitted out. Wheels, gears, brakes, handlebars, everything. You could customise it, stem length, bar width, off the peg. It wasn't like an additional cost. And it was also like a reasonable price. I mean, a lot of the bike brands have just absolutely skyrocketed in price. And yeah, I liked it that much. I was like, oh, it's any chance I can have one of them, and they were helpful. And yeah, I've loved it. It's not even the top of the range bike that they sell, but for me these days, I kind of like that, and I'm happy enough just having something that's like 9/10. It just always gives me an excuse when the teammate drops me. Yeah, you know what? Like since retiring, I've ended up sort of like contracting a few different things. I still work with British Cycling. I got the Active Travel Commission job in South Yorkshire. I do some brand ambassador work with CAMS, do some public speaking, and I always wanted to kind of explore different options when I retired. And quite quickly I'm kind of working out what I like, what I don't like, and that's actually way more important than what I'm good at, what I'm not good at. And I'm going to start zoning in, I think, on what I'm really passionate about, what I enjoy, and perhaps take it down from like 5 different projects to 2 or 3.